All right, quick question. Have you ever sat down to work, fully ready to focus, and within 5 minutes, you're already annoyed? You've got your laptop open, your coffee's right there. You tell yourself, okay, this is it, I'm locking in. And then, ping. A notification, someone talking in the other room, traffic outside. Even when it's quiet, it somehow isn't. And you do what everyone does. You try to fight it, you turn things off, you move rooms, you put on noise-canceling headphones. And somehow, focus still feels fragile, like it only works if the entire world cooperates. But what if that's the wrong approach? What if focus doesn't come from chasing silence, but from using sound on purpose? But what if the real secret to concentration isn't about getting rid of all the sound? So, how in the world can adding more noise to that mix possibly help, you might ask? Well, the answer is pretty amazing, and it lies in the science of how our brains actually process signals. Let's dig into the why behind this whole thing. Okay, so the key concept here has a really fancy name, stochastic resonance. It sounds super complicated, but the idea itself is actually pretty simple in certain systems, and that includes our brains adding a little bit of randomness. Or noise can actually boost a faint signal, making it way easier for the system to notice it. Here's the best way to think about it. Imagine you're trying to tune an old analog radio to a really distant station. It's mostly just static, right? But as you turn that dial, you find this sweet spot where that very static seems to lift the faint music right out of the fuzz. That's a perfect real-world example of stochastic resonance. The noise is literally helping you hear the signal. So how does this work inside our heads? Well, for some of us, especially folks with ADHD, the brain's internal signals for focus, which are driven by things like dopamine, can be a little on the faint side. Now by adding a steady, predictable layer of external noise. We're not drowning out our thoughts. Instead, we're giving that weak internal signal the boost it needs to be heard loud and clear, helping our brain log on and stay concentrated. The noise helps the signal cross that threshold into our awareness. Okay, so if we need the right kind of noise, what are our options? Well, this brings us to what I like to call our sonic toolkit. We're going to break down the 3 most common types of sound people use for focus: white, pink, and brown noise. This table is basically your cheat sheet for understanding the differences. Each color of noise has a really distinct sound and a specific job. You can think of white noise as kind of like a sonic wall, pink noise as a more natural, balanced soundscape, and brown noise as this deep, immersive rumble. Let's explore each one a little more. So let's start with white noise. This is the one you probably know best. It's that crisp hiss of an old TV with no signal or just a running fan. Because it has all the audible frequencies blasting at equal intensity, it's an absolute powerhouse for masking those sharp, sudden distractions. You know, like a phone ringing or a dog barking. It just creates this smooth, consistent audio backdrop. It's perfect for really chaotic places like an open office where you just need to block everything at. Then you've got pink noise. This sounds a lot more like steady rain or wind rustling through leaves. It feels more balanced than white noise because it has less intensity in those higher frequencies. This makes it way less harsh and, for a lot of people, much more pleasant to listen to for hours on end. It creates this very calm, natural-sounding vibe that's awesome for things that need sustained calm concentration, like studying or reading. And finally, we have brown noise, the bass-heavy cousin of the family. This one really emphasizes the lower frequencies, creating this deep, powerful rumble, kind of like a huge waterfall or distant thunder. This makes it perfect for creating a totally immersive soundscape, helping you just dive into deep work and block out those low rumbles like traffic. A lot of people find it's the absolute best for creative work, like writing or coding, where you really want to feel sealed off from the rest of the world. All right, so you've got the science and you know about the tools. Now comes the most important part, figuring out what works for you seriously. There's no single best noise. It is all about your personal preference and what you're trying to get done. So here are a few tips to get you started on your own experiment. Try short sessions at first, maybe just 15 or 20 minutes, to see how you respond. good headphones are definitely key to getting that really immersive effect, and try to match the noise to your task. That sharp masking of white noise might be perfect for a loud coffee shop, while the deep rumble of brown noise might be what you need for some creative writing at home. But most importantly, pay attention to how you feel. Are you calmer, less antsy? That feeling is just as important as how many words you type, and that really brings us to the core idea here. Let's stop chasing this impossible dream of perfect silence. Instead, start thinking of yourself as a kind of architect. You're designing a sound environment that is perfectly tuned to help your unique brain do its best work. So, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. What if we've been looking at distraction all wrong? Maybe the right kind of distraction is actually the most powerful tool for focus we have. If you liked my video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.